Okay, question. What are some of the actual differences between, say, what you might wear in the fall versus other times of the year? Now, of course, some of this stuff is going to seem pretty obvious, but there's also a lot of little nuances that I want to talk about today, starting first with color. Now, in the spring and summer, it's usually all about bold and bright colors and bold and bright patterns. I mean, if you think about it, everything is in bloom, so the world in general is a pretty bright place. Now, during that time of year, style typically mimics what's happening in nature. And with that, in the fall and the winter season, but of course, depending on where you live, colors in nature tend to fade. Leaves turn orange and brown and fall off the trees. Seasonal plants die out for the season, and we're left with these muted and dark earth tones. So, to mimic nature, some good earth tones that you can wear in the fall would be tan, brown, olive green, dark mustard, navy blue, and burgundy. And the cool thing is that most all of those earth tones can be paired together. For example, brown and blue go great together because they're opposite on the color wheel. Now, burgundy and olive also go great together because they are also opposite on the color wheel. And I've talked about using the color wheel in a bunch of other videos, and I don't want to get too deep into that topic in this video, but I will link to the color wheel that I like to use down in the video description. It is 100% free, anybody can use it, and it's pretty fun to play with, especially if you're not always sure what colors go together. All right, next, it's all about texture and heavier fabrics in the fall. Lightweight cotton, linen, and some of those rayon fabrics, those are great for the spring and summer, but once the cold weather gets here, it's time to put those lightweight things away. It's more about flannel and wool and basically thicker material with texture. And what I mean by texture is like what the material looks like. For example, is it smooth and kind of shiny like a pair of suit trousers, or does it have some depth and sort of fuzziness to it like maybe a pair of corduroys? And by the way, to my surprise, corduroy's making a huge comeback, and you're probably going to start seeing it a lot this season. Okay, another difference, and this one is going to be very obvious, but it's dressing with more layers. So for me, the way that I like to think about layering is that everything you're wearing should be able to work on its own, independent of any other layer. For example, if I'm wearing like a chambray shirt and then maybe a lightweight V-neck sweater over the top of that with like a lightweight puffer vest and then finally some sort of jacket, as you peel the layers off, everything should still be able to work independently of what you just removed. One piece shouldn't have to rely on another piece. All right, one more thing about layering is that you always start with the thinnest item first, and then as you work your way out, every additional item gets a little thicker and a little heavier. For example, start out with a basic white t-shirt. Maybe after that you go with a lightweight wool sweater, and then maybe after that you do some type of an overshirt. Then maybe you'll finish off with an overcoat or some type of a warm weather jacket. And again, this all depends on the climate that you live in because 4 layers is quite a bit. But if you keep this order in mind, you'll always be on the right track. Now the next difference is with your footwear, starting with your socks. And for me, because I live in a pretty warm climate, I wear the no-show socks like most of the year. However, because it does get pretty cold here in the winter months, the no-show sock is really no longer a very good option, especially now because it's boot season. Now more on boots in just a second, but first a word about socks, because the full-length socks that I've been wearing personally for the last probably couple years now are from today's sponsor, Straight Up Socks. Now I've talked about these socks before in other videos, and I'm not even kidding when I say that these are seriously the only full-length socks that are currently in my sock drawer. Personally, I hate the look of sagging socks, but what I hate even more is the feeling of loose sagging socks. Straight Up Socks uses a proprietary silicone strip to keep your socks in place and looking great all day long, so you never have to constantly reach down and pull your socks up. And what's cool is that the small profile of the silicone strips hold the sock in place instead of relying on tightness. They're made from moisture wicking Pima cotton for lasting comfort and a nice smooth appearance that resists pilling. They've got a reciprocated heel for a superior comfortable fit, smooth toe seams that reduce abrasion, and a reinforced heel and toe for longer wear. They offer free shipping within the US, and for a limited time, you can receive a free pair of black socks when you buy a solid color 4-pack. Hit the link below, guys, and go check them out today. And as I promised, let's move on to boots. And yes, I know, boots can be worn year-round, and that's totally cool. But this time of year is when most of us start dusting off our boots from last year so we can start wearing them this year. And once again, depending on your climate, a nice leather lace-up boot or a suede chukka boot are amazing options. And if you find something with a rubber sole, that is going to give you a lot more traction and stability if you're walking around on wet pavement. Trust me, it is very sketchy walking around on wet pavement with leather soles. I practically did the splits once when I slipped and almost fell. It was like walking on ice. Okay, next is jackets. I mean, shirt jackets are nice and everything, but they might not be warm enough. And that's when like a chore jacket or a bomber jacket or even a trucker jacket comes in. And one thing about trucker jackets is you don't always have to go traditional denim. Trucker jackets in suede look absolutely phenomenal. So if you're out looking, just keep your eyes open. Good looking chore jackets or field jackets are also a very nice option because in my opinion, they kind of walk that line perfectly between like a rugged casual and polished casual. Again, lots of different colors and materials in these jackets. Now this next one can be worn year round and it's your cotton chinos. However, find some heavier cotton fabrics. And of course, they're gonna come in a ton of different colors. And these are probably gonna be the most versatile pair of pants that you'll ever own. And for this time of year, once again, go with earth tones and darker neutrals like dark gray, navy blue, olive green, burgundy, and brown. And one quick note on chinos. Pleats are coming back into style. I'm seeing them all over the place right now, and I'm not completely sold on it just yet because I still think that flat front chinos look best. Next is darker colors for your denim jeans. Now, a lot of brands right now are really embracing colors other than the standard blue that, of course, we're all used to. I picked up a pair of chocolate brown jeans recently, and I've got my eyes on this medium brown, olive green, and a pretty cool pair of sort of medium blue that I might need to add to my wardrobe pretty soon. I wear jeans probably 95% of the time, so it's nice to have some color variations instead of looking like everybody else out there wearing the same blue jeans. And really quick, if you made it this far in the video, you are one of the true legends, and I appreciate you. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because I make at least 2 brand new videos every single week. And with that, my friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.